Marysville Roundtable, a discussion on current events, sports, and entertainment.
Welcome to this roundtable interview. I'm Hunter Likins. As we know, college isn't for everybody, so today we have Josh Likins to talk more about what life is like in the industry. I will let you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, thanks for having me, Hunter. My name is Josh Likins. I have been a member of the IBEW Local 17 for 23 years now. I started out in the trade as a heavy equipment operator and worked my way up the ranks through field foremans, and now I'm currently a general foreman for Universal Contracting Services, where I run manpower. So that's a little background to where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're glad that you're able to come in today and talk about what you do for a living. So how long have you been in the electrical trade and what got you into this line of work?
Well, like you said, 23 years in the trade. And the way, just a little background, the way the union works is I am employed through the local, which is Local 17, and that's the linemen's union. Mm-hmm. We primarily do, the company that I work for, we do street lighting and residential lighting, through a lot of contracts through the Detroit Edison Company. In the late 90s, I was running heavy equipment for several different companies. Had an opportunity to be subbed in under a company that worked out of the Local 17. And when we completed the project, a door opened and they offered me a full-time position. So that's how I got my foot in the door.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of jobs nowadays require an apprenticeship. What exactly is an apprenticeship, and is there anything a student should do before applying?
Okay, apprenticeships, yeah, within the trades, I'm only going to speak for the IBEW right now. Within my local, there are 5 different agreements. Within each agreement has a different course of obligations. Within each one, there is an apprenticeship in every one of those agreements. For instance, the top tier agreement would be the A agreement. That's most of your linemen that run distribution and transmission, so all your power lines coming from the plants all the way out to your house. They would fall under the A agreement. B agreement covers primarily your substations and powerhouses. C agreement covers roadway lighting, traffic signal intersections, municipality projects. You have the line clearance and tree trim, which speaks for itself. That is your woodsmen, your tree trimmers. They maintain clearance on the lines. And then our entry level is the UU agreement or the teledata agreement, and they range anywhere from traffic signal or traffic regulators. So if you see a crew working on the road and there's an arrow board set up, cones, barrels, they would manage that all the way up to communications, whether that be wireless or wired, working on the poles as well. Each one, like I said, has its own apprenticeship, and they range in duration from 2,000 hours to 7,000 hours. If you do the math, an average work year is based on 2,000 hours, so you can kind of judge what that takes to get through. Yeah.
So do most companies offer and hire through apprenticeships?
Okay, so the way that the local works is you first are employed and then you apply for an apprenticeship. in order to do that, there are certain classifications they look for. GED or diploma is a necessity. Once you've filled out your application has been accepted, you would be brought in front of a board, a panel, and they check to make sure that all your paperwork is in order, and then they do like we are right now. They will do a sit down, we'll talk through scripted questions, and depending on how you answer, you are rated. And then it's literally, if you do very well, you get a higher rating, and the next open, that would be a call. So that's just in a nutshell how that apprenticeship application process works. And then if you get in, the opportunities are what you want to make of it. Mm-hmm. You can take it for everything you can get out of it. The more you put in, the more you will get out. I can guarantee you that.
Mm-hmm. In your opinion, what is the best part of working in this industry?
In my opinion, the pluses far outweigh the negatives. It can afford someone like myself. I tried college, SC4. It wasn't for me. This came along and it has afforded me a comfortable living, good means to raise a family, and it's knowledge that I learned on the job, and I let my work ethic move me up that ladder. So as far as the trades go, I highly recommend looking into that direction. If school may not be for you, if you find that to be the case for yourself, give the trades a look. You can do extremely well for yourself, all with your hands and your mind.
So what are some of the benefits that come from this line of work, such as your life insurance and your retirement?
Okay. As far as the benefits, your retirement, the money that is put into your retirement has a lot to do with what agreement you're working under. For instance, the entry-level positions, these men and women are putting, if I'm not mistaken, 15% of their hourly wage on top of their pay. So this is not coming out of your pocket. This is above your pay. Goes into a retirement fund that is a large cap, and we can get into that later if you like. But so if you think of it this way, you got 15 cents of every dollar that you make being put into a fund that generates your wealth for the future. That's the minimum. The highest agreements that we have, you're putting 24.5% into a retirement. And it may not mean a lot to you right now, but when you start looking into things, it has real wealth down the road. Our insurance, health insurance that is, it's through the IBW Health and Welfare Fund. It's a HAP plan. It's a PPO. We have major medical. We have dental, vision, prescription coverage. I've been very blessed with the insurance that I've been afforded through this career. It is based all off of hours worked. With our insurance, you have what is called a bank. So for every hour that you work in a month, you get that credit. So if you worked 160 hours this month, you would get 160 credits. Your insurance costs you 145 credits. So every month, if you work your 40, you're putting something into the bank. it can climb up to 800 hours of saved bank. So at 145 hours per month, you could save yourself 5.5 months. If you took 5.5 months off of work and never worked a day, you would be covered for that time. So that's very big, especially working in a seasonal, where so much of our work is weather related.
Yeah.
So it's the peace of mind that you can get from that.
Many people out of high school especially want a job where they can make a lot of money. Can you tell us about the hourly wages and opportunities that you have?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start at the entry level. Entry level, right out of high school, I'm not even talking an apprenticeship, we're talking just getting your foot in the door, is just over $20 an hour right now. Now, if you want to talk about top level pay, you're talking men or women that have been through a line apprenticeship, did their time there and maxed out. It can climb as high as $58 an hour. So it is very ambition driven. If you are one that looks for that dollar amount, it's up to you to go make it. That's one part of the trades that if you're hungry and you're willing to work for it, you will be compensated well for.
And then I know since you are the general foreman of your company, what are the typical hours that you guys work?
Very good. Yep, I have certain crews that I run contract work that's based on a 40-hour week. I have options to work 50, 60 hours a week if that's what you like. Or I know guys that chase the hours and they will work 7 days a week, 16 hours a day. So you could be upwards of 120 hours a week if that's what you strive to do. So it's the full spectrum. You want a 40, or you want to really chase some hours, that option is there.
And then, like you mentioned, this line of work is often weather driven, but just like most anything, there's a lot of busy seasons and slowdowns. Can you tell us what most people do during the slow times of the year?
Absolutely. So a lot of guys, men and women in the trades, especially in the outdoor, whether that be road construction, in the line work like I do, you name it, it is a weather-driven workforce. You get used to the inclement weather. You learn to deal with it. If it's rain days, ice days, things like that, you may have the day off. Those days do come. A lot of people, a lot of men and women love the slower time in the winter. So from, let's say, late December through March, early March, would be Michigan's normal winter months. A lot of people pick up a hobby that's fed by the winter. So snowmobiling, ice fishing, hunting season. They utilize that time to kind of reset. Some people enjoy traveling with cruises. If you work all summer and can save that money up, it's prime time. It's what you want to make of it.
So Michigan, like a lot of states, has economic slowdowns as well. What do most people do during those?
Well, that is a good point. Yes, so much of our work is generated funds through whether it be federal funding, state funding, municipalities funding, and those times do happen. We've seen a big slowdown in 2008, 2009, that downturn. We are in a touch of one now. That is a great time to work on your skill set or your marketability as an employee. There are courses that you can apply for, you can sign up for, both through our training facility, which is out in Goodles, down in Southfield, or even the community college. I know guys that get in for night classes. Anything to make yourself more marketable is more valuable down the road. It's like I said, it falls back on you can get out of this career what you're willing to put into it. If you're willing to use those times to better yourself, you will better your family.
So as in almost any job, there are also downsides to it. So what are some of the downsides to this profession?
Yeah, I won't sugarcoat it. This is a dangerous line of work. From traffic, we're working feet away from live traffic. If you're on a lighting project on the highway, nobody's hiding anything from you. You see how people drive these days. Everybody's texting, looking down, and only thing separating you is that little dashed line and a cone or a barrel. So there is high risk, but with high risk, there is high reward. If you're up in the lines, that is a very dangerous job. Safety protocols there for a reason. If it's implemented and it's followed, you can do your job extremely safe. If accidents happen, things can go bad. Absolutely. There is high risk, but there is high reward.
And then the final question is, if you could go back and start over, what would you have done differently?
Okay. For me, I believe that everything happens for a reason. I think everything that I've been through in my life made me who I am today. I don't know that I would do anything different personally, but that being said, I would direct young men and women that have the idea that this is for them. I would try to structure them into an apprenticeship. I did it the roundabout way. Had I been guided in a different direction, I would have went straight into an apprenticeship. I would have started at a younger age, and I would be further ahead than I am now. I didn't know it existed when I came out of high school. No one in my family worked in the trades, and it just wasn't promoted. I feel that it's a huge disservice not to mention it, because skilled labor is definitely needed. In the 23 years that I've been in the trades, I've seen a decline in the number of qualified men and women getting into it, which that's a huge need. And that for young people willing to work for it, they will be rewarded.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for coming in today and giving us an insight into what you do. It certainly sounds like this could be a great opportunity for many people, including our students. This has been Hunter Likins with M6, your hometown station.
Marysville Roundtable, a discussion on current events, sports, and entertainment.